Right, here we go. This is another build video, another Metcalfe kit. As you know, I built the section of platform in a previous video. I got this far, wasn't really sure what to do, whether I should go any further or build it longer, because I didn't really know what buildings or anything like that I was putting on it. So I have bit the bullet, and I've purchased the Metcalfe mainline station booking hall PO230. So this is a pretty big kit, I believe, fairly big build, but what I wasn't actually sure of is the width of the platform here. So the platform I've made probably isn't going to line up with it or anything like that, but let's have a go. I can always make some modifications, so hopefully it'll be alright. Right, so basically the town where I live, which is Barnstable, has got one little station. Used to be much busier back in the line, but now it's just it's like the end of the line. It's got a massively long station platform, but it only ever gets a 2 or 3 car DMU. There is a picture of the station. So I would like to model this slightly on that. I'm not trying to copy it, because it is a totally different building, but whether you can see clearly or not, it's got like green doors and green drain pipes and things like that, which I think it changed to those when First Great Western went to GWR again. I think they just tried to make everything green basically. So I will possibly copy that with a bit of paint. I might see how it goes basically. But yeah, this is going to be another big build. I'm not sure how long this is going to go on. If it's anything like this thing, that video ended up 45 minutes to build that. No idea how. Probably because I keep rambling all the time like this. So let's crack on, and I might try and do some fancy editing on this and try and cut bits out and maybe do some speeded up film and things like that. So I've not opened this yet. I'm opening it now. It is quite a thick package. Right, so there we have everything from one sheet. Right, empty packet. Can go over there. Station platform can go over there as well. There we go. Right, so what have we? Right, okay, let me just get all these instructions in order. Right, so it appears that it's almost like there's 2 lots of instructions, although it is continued. But it looks like there's one for or a separate bit for the platform canopy. So I'm going to assume that one is done last, so let's put that to one side. Extracting components from sheets. To stop the components from falling off sheets, they're held secure with score lines. These are cuts that only go about 75% of the way through the card. La di da di da, we all know that stuff. Make your builder's yard. As you extract the components from the base sheets, they will need to be kept away from your working area on a thick piece of card or tray until needed. I haven't got a huge amount of space here. This is my work desk. I've been banned from using the dining table because stuff will just stay there for months if I go down there. So I'll maybe try and have a builder's yard kind of over here, which is not a huge space, but we can try. Right, so the canopy sections are there, which look fantastic, I must say. Now these are one of the things that I think on the, like these sections, these bits here, I think on Barnstable's station, I'll have to double check, I think these are all green, which I'd be ashamed to paint these because they look fantastic in their sort of natural state. So on the cream laser cut card, looks absolutely fantastic. Right, so it's actually saying to start with the windows, which is interesting, but I guess once they're in, once the building's together, you can't get them in because they stick from the inside. So, wow, that was some task. Okay, so I've cut out all the pieces from the sheets that it says to cut out to start with, so we're just doing bit by bit basically. Right, you can probably see my builder's yard just to the left there. It's a bit scattered around, and this is where I'm a bit lost for what to do. So I've got like a door there, for example, and it's red. Now I want it to be green. So should I paint it now, or I'm not sure. Not really sure how it's going to come out painted either. I'll carry on building and see where we get. So we need to cut the glazing pieces out. Right, let's cut these out and I'll come back. Right, so all the building yard is done. I've cut the glazing out, which you can see at the very top of the screen there. I'm still undecided what to do with this, because if I paint it I'm going to lose all the detail in it. So I'm not sure. Maybe it would be best to just keep it red. We'll carry on. Right, so we are starting with all these bits here. So we need to get rid of all these little bits there. Okay, finally we have all the glazing cut out. That's probably the most time consuming job I've ever done on any of these Metcalfe kits that I've built. But we are there. So we are to glue a lot of the windows together. So we've got, for example, W2 there, and right, there's a W2, and we're going to glue that on there like so. Right, so we'll match everything up that we need to start with, including our little door. It's a shame because I was going to paint it, but right. So building a door. It's got to go with one of these, I think. So we got a D1, sorry, a D2, as I've missed something. So that goes on like that. Then so the door goes on the door frame. Then the window goes on the door. And you cut that bit of loose card out of the way. Alright, should we dive in and just do it? Yeah. I'm going to glue the edges of this door. We're going to stick that on there. Like so. Right, then I'm going to put a couple of very tiny little splodges for the window, which we're going to take a D1. And we will fix it there and get it as straight as we can, as straight as I can. Make sure we got nothing on our fingers. And then we will affix that on there. Just turn it around so we can line it up. A little bit higher. That is sufficient. Looks like we're sticking with a red door. So then we've got W2, and we're gonna. Right, it's in the same on the window frame. Right, I'll carry on doing the rest of these window frames. Got all of these to do, and I will bring you back. So now we've done the windows, which are drying. Next step is we're moving on to the main piece here. Right, so we'll punch out all the windows. Start by folding the two thin strips of wall top cover and glue it into the back of the outer walls. Right, so I think that's this section here and this little bit here. There we go. We can leave that drying for a minute. Let's just put one more back in the middle. Right, so next one, I believe we get one of these. So they have a tab at the bottom and tabs there. Right, so we folded these over, and this is actually two of them here. I've just put them back to back to save on pegs. Chop that to one side. Right, then attach them to the back of each gable end. Keep bottom edges flush and fold the sidewalls around to check they are positioned correctly. So these pieces that we've made now, so that'll be something like that. Okay, we'll do one at a time. Right, so flush to the ground. Like a peg there just to hold it in place for now while I do the other one. I think the tabs I folded over on these earlier, I'm not sure I've put enough glue on them. Fold these edges around just to make sure we're all square. That looks good. Right, that's that. Right, the next step is to fit the windows in. So they should, I think, just slot into these little gaps. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. So, windows in, doors in. Got a tiny gap at the bottom of the door. No. Well, it doesn't seem to go any lower. It might have been how I stuck it, but it's probably real to life. Most waiting rooms have got a cold, breezy gap under the door, I'm sure. Right, so that's what it looks like from the inside. So, okay, what's next? Right, fit to the inner floors. Alright, so we've fitted that to the bottom ledges. So now we're going to fix the top floor. And there we go, so that's the top floor, or the first floor I should say. Right, and then the very top floor sits on top of these ledges. Just here. There's our floors. That's quite good, isn't it? So after we've completed the main box, if you like, of that building there, the next step in the instructions is to just extract the main walls from sheet B, which I will do now. So I've extracted this, and the instructions are basically to assemble it in the same way that we assembled this. So slightly different windows, but the principle is exactly the same. And you will also need to extract the window frames from sheet B as well. Right, so the stage we are at now, this is the bit from part B, which I'm just letting dry a little bit at the moment, and I've started doing this bit from, which is called the centre building, from sheet C, which is fairly straightforward, same sort of principle, glue the windows in and so on. So I'm just going to finish off one of these bits, or the last bit, and then I'll move on to the next section. Alright, it's getting a bit dark now, so I'm going to call it a day. So I'll finish this section here, and I have built this piece. It's just got the pegs on it holding these in place. These have got like blocks behind them to pack them out. It's just drying. And I've done these, so we've got like a ticket window and a little like cafe entrance. These are going to go inside here, I think. I believe that's correct. But I will probably leave that for another day. Right, so I've left some of these pieces to dry, so that's what that one's looking like now. And this one here, the window's done, all these pillars are done, and the other two sections you can just about see in the background there are made up. Those are basically identical, just mirror image of each other. Right, so the next part is we're going to attach this to this, which just glues onto there, and the sides glue on there. So I'll go around and do that. So while that piece is gluing here, we're going to take this section here. Now it gives you a choice of different clocks, various ones, some with Roman numerals and things like that. I'm opting for just a normal one with numbers. It looks a bit more modern. So we're going to glue that behind there, like so. So we're really starting to take shape now. We've got that panel on, shows the clock, and we've got a little fascia piece on there. So the next step is actually moving on to the platform. So we're going to chuck that out the way for a minute, and then we bring in this section. Now this was across two pieces of card, and it's got a kind of annoying floppy section in the middle, obviously with a score line, but that's it. So we'll see what we can do with it. So I've now built up the platform section in the same way that well, it's a similar sort of technique and design to the normal platform build that I did in another video. So just follow that kind of technique. So that's now done, and I've just glued it to the centre of building C as per the instructions. The next step is to move on to building B and fit this card. It's like a platform spacer on there, and then you've got these two little platform spacer pieces which you glue together and you stick them on top, which I will do now. So the building is now on its end. I've got some books on top of it weighting it down as per the instructions, and the next step is to move on to the roof. Right, we're now going to do these two small roof sections. These have got trusses like so that go in the middle, and we've also got some spare grey pieces just to strengthen it up. So I'm going to put them together. So there's one of the roof trusses, just with some card, strengthening card put in there. So I'll do the other one. Right, that's how we're looking at the moment, which is all pretty good. So we're going to fit these smaller roofs now. It says make sure the chimney pieces, or the holes for the chimney stacks, is towards the entrance side. So I'll just test fit that. So that fits okay like that. And the other one. Also fits good. Which is fantastic. So a bit of glue and I'll secure these in place. So getting the roofs on really starts it, makes it start to look finished, so it's looking good. I'm just in the process of doing some of these like little fascia pieces. They're like finishing bits, and this is what takes the time. It is so fiddly. But I guess it's this sort of thing that sets this apart from other things, other kits. Right, it's another day. So far this build has taken me probably about 7 days, I think. However, I've just been doing it on and off, sort of half an hour here and half an hour there. So what I did last time I was doing this, I have done some of these top pieces and some of these sort of moulding bits, which really help it sort of stand out, make it look pretty good. So the next step is capping stones on the roof, so I'll do that now. Alright, that's all of these fascia pieces on, so they go all the way around. and according to the instructions the next step is to fit the steps. So that's going to be, I guess, maybe some steps at the front here. Right, I've finished making the steps, which I'm just about to fit into the building. So the next step is the front canopy, which you can just see in the background sits something like that on there. So we've got some of the glazing pieces and some of the frames and things like that. So the first part is we're going to fix this on here. So we've now glued this piece to the clear plastic, and the next piece is this, which we've got to fold these tabs around like so and glue them all to the back. Canopy is done. Bear in mind this is the front canopy, this isn't the rear one. I'll be doing that next. It's going to fit on the front of there, which I'll do now. I'll show you what it's like in a minute. Right, so we can see that's the new front canopy on there, and I've made a start on the platform canopy. Started separating all of these from the card. These are laser cut pieces, so they have like really nice effects on them. But so let's try and put this together. So they give you this little jig type piece. So you put one piece in there like that. Apply your glue. Don't think it needs loads, just a few little dots. Then get the decorative piece. That then goes on top. Then you flip that over. Get the other side, place that in the jig, apply your glue, and then the piece you just made, flip it over and put it back in the jig. Now I find it best to sort of push it out the bottom. Then you can do a little bit of straightening up if you need to, I've found. And that's how we make those. Right, as you can see, I'm starting to get the platform canopy put together, which is coming along quite nicely. Just a couple more to put on, and then we'll start with the actual glazing itself. Right, I think that's the main structure of the canopy done, so just going to fit some of the glazing now. Right, platform canopy is done. I think it looks pretty snazzy. So I think it's just the roof to finish off, which for some reason they leave till the end. So I think there's some strips that go on the top and some chimneys. So I'll build those now. Right, chimneys are in. I haven't done the little terracotta stacks on top at the moment. I'm just doing the ridge pieces. So it says to sort of colour the white bit in with a grey pen, but I'm going to use a black pen, and I don't think it matters too much. It's just going to look aged and grubby. Obviously I haven't got a grey pen, but I could have mixed up some grey paint, probably got some grey paint, but this is just a nice quick and easy way of doing this. I think the edges of ridge tiles would be grubby, so that's how mine are staying. Right, so that sits on there, and then we're going to roughly perfect. I'll splodge of glue. Just drop that straight in there. Right, so next time you see it, I'll get the rest of these on, and I'll get hopefully get the terracotta stacks on, pots on, and then it'll be done. Right, here we go. It is pretty much finished. Don't think I've missed anything off. Actually, I do know I've missed some bits off, but I'm not gonna tell you what I've missed. You have to be pretty eagle-eyed to see it. Right. At the start of this video I mentioned I had plans to paint some of the bits green. I think all of these platform canopy pieces I was thinking about painting green, but I just think they look too good as they are. So I've got to find a way of joining this up with my platform, which should be easy enough. I have right, let me just lift the camera up a little bit. Right, so as you can see, the chimney stacks, I've put 2 on that end, 2 on that end, and I've just put 1 on the middle ones, each of the middle ones. They're just rolled up bits of paper basically, so you can put more on, but I thought I'd give it a bit more of an odd effect. But yeah, I would say this isn't really a kit. If you've never built a Metcalfe kit before, I wouldn't start out with this kit. I would buy something like one of the retaining walls, that's what I started with, or one of the cheapest ones they do. I think they do like a stable for about £6. I would definitely start out with something like that, just to get you used to doing the cuts and cutting things out and gluing things and stuff like that. I would also highly recommend these. They are from Metcalfe. You can probably get other ones around, but it's just a pin in the top, and it's a very, very fine tip. So that's my recommendations. I started off with using a craft knife, but as the blades for these are slightly more expensive, in the end I was just using a Stanley knife, and it was sufficient. I don't think it was too big or too brutal for this kit, I've had some tweezers around for moving things, and mostly for you get the little stringy bits off the glue, so just pulling that out of the way. And that's pretty much it. And I've used some pegs again, as always, which has proved really necessary, to be honest. So yeah, well, I think that's going to be me done for this one. If you want to see the previous video, click the top link. If you would like to subscribe, click the bottom link. Thanks for watching.